Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline at Pixie Dust PhD, and surprise, we are going to Disney World. We'll do a quick trip sketch in this video, but mostly I want to show you a live look-in at our advanced dining reservation booking morning. If you're interested to hear more about our trip and see the wins and fails from ADR morning, stay tuned. Before we really get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has liked the video, subscribed to the channel, turned notifications on, left comments down below, engaged in any way, followed me over on Twitter and Instagram. I so super appreciate it. This is a great community, and that's all thanks to you. Let's talk about the trip impetus real quick. If you've been around the channel for a while, you'll know that when we purchased Disney Vacation Club, the intent was absolutely to not change our already existing vacation patterns. Specifically, that is, we travel down to Walt Disney World roughly every other year for a longer trip in the Orlando area. Otherwise, we try to travel abroad, see other parts of the country, and save some of our leave for family and friend matters. Also, we just don't have a ton of annual leave, so it's always a factor. Yes, we did our longer trip in September of 2021, and we're planning a longer trip for 2023 as well. You may recall we did end up going to Epcot for one day in February of 2022. Personally, I don't really count that as a Disney trip because the point of that whole trip was just to spend time with friends. We did spend most of our time in Florida, actually away from the Orlando area, so Epcot was absolutely a bonus. A friend literally gifted us the tickets to go, otherwise we would not have touched a Disney park. This upcoming trip, though, definitely counts as a Disney trip, and we are breaking my rule. Very honestly, the big thing was fear of missing out. Even when we were planning our September 2021 trip, I knew we would be missing stuff for Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary that I really wanted to see. Before we even went on that September 2021 trip, we had decided we would be coming down sometime during the 50th for a very short period of time just to see 50th things we wouldn't get to otherwise. Piling onto that, we do have an expiring hotel reward night that we need to use up. Typically, we use these in New York because it's a really good point to cash conversion rate. You're getting good value out of your free night. But based on other travel plans we already had and work schedules, we knew we would have to go in the winter. And New York in the winter is beautiful, but it is very, very cold. January of 2022, we actually went out to Disneyland Resort in California and both found it so refreshing to be in a warmer climate in January, have a little respite away from the cold. And on top of that, given how travel's been going recently, we definitely wanted somewhere with a direct flight. All of those things kind of just added up to, well, let's go to Orlando and let's go to Walt Disney World real quick. In terms of planning consideration, timing is always a big one. Like I said, our prior travel and work plans really dictated that this was probably going to have to be in January. We didn't want to go over MLK weekend and we didn't want to go over race weekend. And ideally, we wanted to get into Festival of the Arts. So here we are in mid to late January. In terms of how long we'd be there, we knew we wanted this to be a shorter trip. We are planning a longer Central Florida trip for 2023, so no reason to make this a super long trip too. And as always, we just need to save our accrued annual leave in order to go on these vacations that we're planning. For the priority list in terms of what we wanted to do, it really was those Walt Disney World 50th anniversary things we wouldn't get to otherwise. A big one for me is Enchantment, the nighttime spectacular at Magic Kingdom. I've heard it's not the best, and I'm sure it will not rival Happily Ever After for me, but I really do want to see it. Additionally, neither of us have been on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, and that's definitely a top priority for both of us. We were able to watch Harmonious, which is the nighttime spectacular over in Epcot when we were there in February of 2022, but I really enjoyed it and I would like to see it again. If we're going down for a short trip, I'm definitely prioritizing the parks and the things that we haven't yet done or that may be going away soon. So this list of priorities clearly set us out to going to Magic Kingdom and Epcot, and really for 2 days, it's not worth park hopping. Here's the general overview. On Wednesday, January 18th, we are leaving the DC metro area and flying down into Orlando. We should get to the Walt Disney World Resort property around 4 p.m. as long as the flight doesn't get super delayed. We're staying at Bay Lake Tower on Disney Vacation Club points, and then the idea would be to have a nice dinner at Toledo that night. No parks this day. January 19th will be our Magic Kingdom day, and since we're staying at Bay Lake Tower, I am anticipating taking a midday break. Ideally, we would come back to the Contemporary Resort for a Steakhouse 71 lunch. Otherwise, Enchantment is the main thing we're prioritizing. I would like to meet Merida. It's been a long time since I've been able to talk to her, and I would like to meet Mickey and Minnie in their 50th outfits. But we'll kind of just see how things go. I do think we'll end up buying Genie Plus, and I think that will dictate a lot of our day. If we are planning on doing meet and greets, we'll probably also prioritize a bunch of other PhotoPass opportunities in that park this day. And if that happens, most likely we'll end up buying Memory Maker one day. Or if the pictures turn out pretty bad, we might just buy digitals of a couple of the photos. The next day is Friday, January 20th, and we will be going to Epcot. Ideally, we'd get to eat at Space 220. That's something neither of us have done yet that we're interested in, but of course, that's a very hard reservation to get. Assuming we don't get the reservation, I think both of us are fine with going when it opens and putting our name on the wait list for the lounge and seeing if it works out. But otherwise, we definitely want to try to get on Cosmic Rewind. If they're still doing the virtual queue at that time, we will both try for that. If we're unsuccessful with the virtual queue, I'm honestly not above paying for the individual lightning lane to get on the ride for the first time. Then of course, I want to see Harmonious. It will be Festival of the Arts, so I think we're just going to do a lot of walking around and appreciating Epcot. And similar to the Magic Kingdom Day, we may or may not prioritize getting those photo pass pics around the park. Depends on if we decide we probably want to buy one-day Memory Maker or not. January 21st is just going to be a chill day. We debated trying to fly home this day, but the prices weren't working out so well, so we are just going to stay, and then we're going to get a nice dinner at Bull and Bear, which is in the Waldorf Astoria. Then January 22nd, we're flying home. Hotel-wise, we wanted to make the most of Disney Vacation Club and be on property prior to our park days. So the nights of the 18th and the 19th will be at Bay Lake Tower. Those are the nights preceding our Magic Kingdom and Epcot days. This is 2 nights in a standard view studio that costs 30 DVC points. After our Epcot day is over, we're going to move over to a Disney Springs area hotel just to sleep for the night, essentially. This will be a standard 1 king room at the Hilton Orlando Lake Buena Vista. This cost just under $248 when I booked it, but that fee has already been fully reimbursed from American Express. This is through that $250 resort credit perk that we have with our Hilton Aspire American Express credit card. If you want to learn more about that, I did a whole video about how that credit card works well for us for going to Disney World. You can check that out. I will link to it in the description below. Yes, we paid for this room, but it already has been reimbursed through credit card perks. We do pay a hefty yearly fee for the credit card, so you can decide if it feels free to you or not. To me, it feels like I'm sleeping in a room and I'm not getting a bill for that, so hooray. Then the morning of January 21st, we'll check out of the Hilton Orlando Lake Buena Vista and move over to the Waldorf Astoria Orlando. We booked a deluxe king room here, which would have cost 80,000 points. At the time I booked it, it also was about $800 for the non-refundable rate for 1 night. However, we booked it using a free hotel reward night, so we didn't actually spend the 80,000 points or $800, we just spent our reward night. That again, we get through that Hilton Aspire Amex. So overall, 2 nights in DVC, which essentially we've already paid for, feels kind of free. A night at Hilton Orlando Lake Buena Vista, which is reimbursed, so feels kind of free. And then a night at the Waldorf Astoria using a free hotel reward night, feels kind of free, pretty good. In terms of park tickets, we bought 2-day single park tickets. We're not park hopping here. For park tickets with such a short length, only 2 days, I didn't see any discounts on Undercover Tourist or other authorized resellers. In this case, we just went directly through Disney for ease. I believe this was my first time buying normal park tickets directly through Disney, so I do have footage of it that I'll show you, but we're going to speed through it because it was pretty self-explanatory. However, if you would like a slowed down version of this step in the process, I can make a new video, leave a comment down below. And if you need help with that process, also leave a comment and I'll try to help you out. From the Disney World website though, you go to parks and tickets. And for me personally, first, I check park availability. I'm not gonna buy the tickets if I can't go to the parks I wanna go to, because then I basically need to redraft my whole vacation. So check the theme park availability, make sure it's going to work out the way you want it to. For us, it was no problem at all. I also tend to go and check the current special offers page, even though I don't qualify for really any of them, but you know, you never know what might come up. In this case, again, it wasn't relevant to me, but I think it's worth checking that page out. Then you just go to purchase your theme park tickets. The website itself will prompt you to check theme park availability, so don't ignore that prompt if you haven't done this step earlier. Tickets are dynamically priced, so you do have to choose your starting day. I always pick a day that will cover my park days, but be the cheapest overall. Even if it only means I'm saving a couple of dollars, it feels like a win to me. Here you can see I'm playing around with the days, making sure that our park days would be covered, the 19th and 20th, but hey, look, this will save me a few dollars, so hooray. After you've selected the starting day, then you need to choose the number of tickets. For us, that's 2 adults. Obviously, this is just whoever's in your travel party that you are purchasing tickets for. You can add Memory Maker if you want, and if you need more information about that, I've got a couple videos on the channel. I will leave links in the description below. Memory Maker Advance is about $170, which can be a really good deal depending on your trip. However, since we'll only be here for 2 days, $170 is actually still more than if we bought 2 instances of Memory Maker one day. So we're definitely not buying Advanced Memory Maker this trip. Next, I always take a moment to reread some of the fine print and make sure that the valid ticket dates do include when I'm traveling. You can tell I'm a little paranoid about this stuff, but it's nice to just have the peace of mind. Then you're going to move into the checkout process. You'll need to assign tickets to guests, so they will need to be in your family friends list. 1 ticket will automatically be assigned to you, and then you'll choose the rest from a drop-down menu. Next, you'll choose your delivery method. You can actually have these mailed to you, which I did think about for a moment, but ultimately just decided with the electronic delivery for ease. Then you'll need to confirm your contact information as well as add a payment method. And once all of that is valid and you agree to terms and conditions, you purchase. And once you've bought your tickets, make sure to go ahead and make your theme park reservations. For day tickets, as in if you don't have an annual pass, this is a very simple and straightforward process. I've gone over it in more detail previously on the channel. I will leave a link to that video in the description below if you want to check it out. But essentially you just click a day that your ticket is valid for, and then you choose a theme park with availability. Easy peasy. If desired, you can also choose to order a Magic Band for a pre-arrival slightly discounted price. Because our trip was so short, we decided to forego Magic Bands this time. But here's a peek at some of the designs and prices that were available when I was looking. They do have Magic Band Plus as well as the Magic Band 2.0 still in stock. For Magic Band Plus, for the most part, the more elaborately designed ones for your pre-arrival price are going to be $35 or so. That's about $10 off, although there are a couple that had a steeper discount. The plain Magic Band Pluses were $25 for pre-arrival price. That's a $10 discount off the standard price of $35. Interestingly, the partner's 50th anniversary design on the Magic Band Plus was fairly heavily discounted. It was down to $25 from $45 originally. You can get that very fancy Magic Band Plus for the same cost as the plain Magic Band Plus. I don't know how they decide what to discount, but it's worth going through the whole grid if you are going to buy Magic Bands and see what the prices are. Some may surprise you. And if the old Magic Band 2.0s are still available when you're looking, in my case, it tended to be that the plain ones were $10 for the pre-arrival price and the fancier designed ones were $20 as the pre-arrival price. But again, there's definitely exceptions, especially for the more elaborately designed ones. They may be $20, but they may be $15 if they're more heavily discounted, or $25 if they're more special. No Magic Bands for us, but I hope you enjoyed that peek. On to the beast of trip planning, advanced dining reservations at Walt Disney World. Here's the general plan, which I've laid out in the order we were going to book it, not the sequential order in the trip. First and foremost, Space 220 on our Epcot day, January 20th. I was going to look for a lunch at the actual restaurant, and my partner was going to look at the lounge for any time. Then we wanted Toledo on our arrival night and Steakhouse 71 lunch on our Magic Kingdom day. I wasn't anticipating having too many problems with either of these, but we did decide to prioritize Toledo as the thing we probably wanted more than Steakhouse 71, especially since we could go to the Steakhouse 71 lounge if it was fully booked. And separate from a Walt Disney World system, I booked Bull and Bear at the Waldorf Astoria for our Waldorf Astoria night. That will be a nice dinner that we're going to have. And I just did that through OpenTable. It was super easy, very low stress. Let's take a live look into the process of trying to book those advanced dining reservations right when our booking window opened up. Over to you, past Jacqueline.
Morning, everyone. It's about 5:40 a.m. on Saturday, November 19th. This is our 60-day window for our January trip, so we are checking into Bay Lake Tower on Wednesday, January 18th, and then we're staying that night and then Thursday night. So we should be able to make ADRs from Wednesday through Friday. The plan is hopefully to snag Space 220, though really who knows, we know how hard that is, but otherwise a dinner at Toledo and a lunch at Steakhouse 71. Separately, over on OpenTable, I've already booked a dinner at Bull and the Bear, I believe it's called, the restaurant at the Waldorf Astoria, so we'll be doing that on Saturday. I'm just going to lay down a fresh login here on the Disney World website. Last night I prepped tabs for the 3 restaurants we're trying to get into. My partner is also going to help this. They're on their computer in another room. So if you hear audio cut, it's probably because we're yelling back and forth to each other. I've also got my cell phone handy in case the website is acting up. Notably, I am doing this on Microsoft Edge. I pretty much do most internet things on Firefox or Chrome, but for whatever reason, the Disney website with me seems to like Edge the best, so this is what I'm using. Also, we prepped tabs for the different restaurants a little bit after midnight last night, just to make this morning go a little easier, and already by then our trip stay had opened up. I know previously someone had asked, like, when does it become available for you to click your days? I don't know the exact time, but for us it happened, after midnight. So I did the overall fresh log out, log in on the website. I'm also going to refresh all of these tabs. That way, hopefully the browser recognizes I did the fresh log out, log in. And yeah, supposedly things start happening at 5:45. I've never had luck before 6 a.m., but I'm going to start refreshing Space 220 at 5:45. My partner and I decided we would rather do lunch than the lounge, so I'm going to be looking at lunch. My partner's going to be looking at the lounge at the same time, though. And for that one specifically, we are looking at a party of 3. We're hoping to go with a friend, but for our other reservations, we'll just be looking at a party of 2. 5:45 a.m. now, and when I'm looking anyway, it's not doing anything. So that's the website, and then also on the app, I don't know if you can see this. Please try again. We're having trouble loading the screen. So, probably just wait till 6 a.m. at this point.
A few minutes later.
Alright, it's 5:56 a.m. now, so I'm just basically going to start smashing refresh on Space 220. That's the one we're obviously most concerned we won't get. It is on the furthest day out in our vacation, but it's of course only like a 2-night stay, so it doesn't give us a huge advantage. Yeah, crossing our fingers. Presumably, once I strike out with Space 220 right at 6 o'clock, we will move on to Toledo and Steakhouse 71. But again, my partner's also going for these in another room just to maximize our chances. So, you know, I may not end up getting a screen recording of everything depending on what they are successful at. Okay, I'm just refreshing on my computer and my phone. 5:59 now. I already got like, sorry, there's no times. Okay, well, look at other times for the lounge. I'm not gonna look past lunchtime for the restaurant. Okay, so struck out Space 220. Not too surprised there. I'll move on to Toledo. $7:30 sound good for Toledo? Alright. Doing a 7:30 dinner at Toledo. Mickey Mouse celebration cakes. No. Wow, they list out all the options now. That's new to me. It's fine, we can add my party later. Okay, my credit card. This is frustrating because my credit card is saved to my account, but of course it didn't load. This happens a lot. Okay, Steakhouse 71. So 125. Skip the cakes. Skip the people. Again, you can add that later. Once again, manually input my credit card. Okay, lunch for 2. No dietary or accessibility requests. Oh, I don't remember clicking that box for Toledo. Shoot. Wait, this is done. Will it let me do this now? No. Shoot. Okay. Time's still available. Mickey cakes. Yeah, we knew this was a strong possibility, babe. Yeah, I'll set up alerts. Yeah. Yeah. Did you book anything, by the way, or not? Okay. No, I'm just double checking. Okay, so I got Toledo dinner for the time we wanted, and I got a Steakhouse 71 lunch for basically the time we wanted. I struck out a Space 220 restaurant for lunch. My partner struck out at the lounge, and they were looking across, you know, all the times. Everything's taken. So we'll set up some alerts for Space 220. Right now, it's still more than 60 days out for that, so I'm not sure if the alert services will let me. I'll keep you posted on that, but I'm gonna go take a nap now.
Well, as past Jacqueline said, you can see that we were not fully successful. I do hope the live look-in is helpful for you, though. I am not a morning person, and I think you can definitely tell that at that early time for me and also the stress of the moment, I definitely had some brain fog. So here's a little warning from past Jacqueline to you. Don't forget to actually finish making your reservations. Once you add the credit card number in and click next, there's still one more page. You have to agree to terms and conditions and fully finish the reservation. Wait until you see a page that says, congratulations, before you click out. We all make mistakes. Hopefully you can learn from mine. And although we weren't successful with Space 220, not too surprised there, I did set up some alerts. Be sure to stay tuned to the channel to see the results of that. I'm so looking forward to the short trip, and I hope to come back with some good vlog content for you all. As always, if you have questions, thoughts, ideas, leave those in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it. May the rest of your day be magical, and we'll see you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.